Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kid Lee. Gonna play a little bit of Hearthstone for you, and as I do that, we're gonna talk about Pax South, which was the newest addition to the Pax family. That was this past weekend. So before I get too far into that, let's get a game going here. We'll get onto the ladder with my zoo deck and see if I can manage to win a couple here. But yeah, Pax South was a much newer, much smaller addition, as I said, to the Pax family. And I got to, basically, I just got to sit home all weekend, and I just watched coverage on it all weekend, and stayed up to date with all the news, and so I was slowly making a list of all the really cool things that I got to see at Pax South. So I thought I'd just sort of go over the list with you guys, and as I said, play some Hearthstone at the same time. Are we going to get us an opponent? Maybe. I don't know. A worthy opponent, that is.
Gul'dan versus
The old mage device.
You asked for it.
Your soul shall be mine.
That's actually a pretty decent starting hand. I'm actually going to go with it. So, first item on the list from PAX was, because it was indeed the first one, just the overall scope was a little smaller. Actually going to play the Knife Juggler here. So a lot of the big names didn't show up, and it seemed like there was a lot more space for the indie developers, which is definitely a good thing, because there's a lot of really cool indie games out there that definitely deserve to be recognized. But there were some big guys who showed up as well. Get that double stab. Too bad. But I think the first game that I'll talk about is Pillars of Eternity. It's going to be from Obsidian Entertainment. You know, these are some of the same guys that brought you the original Knights of the Old Republic 2. They did the Neverwinter Nights. So they're fairly well known for doing some pretty good RPGs. So along comes Pillars of Eternity. Just trying to decide here real quick on which guy I want to pull out. I can actually do two of them. Should I do an egg or should I not do an egg? That's the question. Now let's do spiders. Hit that 2-1. Come on, one more chance here to hit the 2-1. Are you kidding me? Wow. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Pillars of Eternity. When I first saw it, it reminded me a lot of like Dragon Age Origins, actually. But it's basically, you know, you've got like a hero type character, and then you've got a bunch of followers, and it's your standard almost dungeon crawler type RPG. The thing to me that made it appear a little different or a little odd compared to the normal RPG is the party size that you're running along with is much bigger. You know, in most games it's maybe a hero and one companion, or a hero and two companions, or in Dragon Age it was a hero and three companions, so a party of 4. And I want to say that this was a party of like 5 or 6. It was like very, very large. And then there's a lot of other really interesting mechanics, like story-driven. Your guys will have certain powers, certain abilities. It's like you have a strong person. Can they, you know, bend these bars on the jail or whatever? And you know, it's almost like your characters are much more developed or in depth. So that game is definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. Should be pretty interesting. I definitely have it written down to take a look at it when it actually comes out. I don't think they announced any kind of date on it, as far as I'm aware. Alright, what do we pull here? We've got to get rid of a 6. Luckily, this guy does a 2. So there we go. Bye-bye, water elemental. Keep punching him in the face here. Doing extremely well. Can actually afford to life tap here. And next turn is going to be brutal. You know what? Actually, he's dead unless he can clear my board, because here's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 right here. It doesn't even count the charge from the 5 on, well, Flame Strike. Is that going to clear it? It is indeed. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think he's still dead. 5, 6, 7, 8. I can still play everything I've got. So I'm going to do exactly that. So here's one knife. He doesn't know that I have the charge. He thinks he's safe. And you know what? I totally screwed that up. This is why I shouldn't play late at night. Alright, so next turn, he's hopefully dead. Still got my charge, as long as he doesn't throw down a taunt or something. Crazy, crazy. But back to Pax South. Next up, we've got the Homeworld Remastered Collection. So, the original game Homeworld, I want to say it came out in like 99 maybe? 97, 98, 99. Somewhere in that time frame. So it was a little before my time, and I say that because I would have been in maybe middle school, 7th, 8th grade, somewhere in that general vicinity. Anyway, you're dead, buddy. Yeah, bye-bye, Sea Giant. So I never played the original Homeworld. And it's basically a sci-fi, aka spaceship, real-time strategy game. And I think it's a game that most people consider to be one of the best for its time. Golden Voidwalker on there. So, yeah, they ended up doing a remaster on it. But not just the original game, they did the second game as well. And then they're actually doing a multiplayer that goes along with that. So it's like, for, I don't know how much they're charging. I want to say it's like 40 bucks. And for 40 bucks, you get the original 2 games, you get the 2 remastered games, and then you get this multiplayer deal for like 40, 50 bucks or whatever it is. So that's definitely going to be another one to keep an eye on. Another mage.
Versus Jaina.
Next up is a game called Lightfall.
Shall be mine.
This is actually not nearly as good of a start as last time. Lightfall is a side-scrolling puzzle action-adventure game. And it's very... Both the way that it looks and feels, it's very similar to Limbo, if any of you guys saw that or played that. But that's another one to keep an eye on. Next up, this guy must be a mage mech deck. Well, I say I will buff my Undertaker. If I get rid of this guy, if I do that, he'll just be able to ping it, so no. Take the chance here. So, Dungeon Defenders 2 is up next, and it's a successor to the original Dungeon Defenders. It's basically an action tower defense game with like classic role-playing elements like loot and leveling. But I just briefly got to see that one. But it looks interesting. It's got sort of that cartoony style. Definitely looked interesting. Next up is a game called Dreadnought. And that seemed to be, it seems to be a real common theme at Pax South. It's like there were so many spaceship games coming out. Or sci-fi games of some description. It's like there's spaceship strategy games and spaceship RTSs. And it's like Grey Goo just came out. And it's a little crazy. Go maximum knives here. See if I can get lucky. Good shooting, Tex. Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Hey, catch! You command.
But Dreadnought is a little bit different compared to the rest of them that came out or were previewed at PAX South. Wow. Let's try that again. PAX South that were previewed at PAX South, because Dreadnought is basically it's an arena combat game. So it's basically just massive dreadnought ships just doing battle, and it's something like 4v4 or 5v5. But that game looked really interesting. Give me my 4-4. And of course, sort of to wrap things up, there was... Well, I guess I'll talk about two more things. I'll go ahead and I'll talk about Guild Wars 2. Heart of Thorns, which is the new expansion they announced. Now, Guild Wars 2 is one MMO that I have not played. It's one of the few that I have not played. But I've got to say, their head guy had... it had to be at least an hour-long presentation on Guild Wars 2. And I was actually rather impressed by some of the stuff that he was saying. It seemed like they were really listening to the fans when it came to this expansion, and they were definitely acknowledging that in their little press event that they were doing, and they were actually sort of talking with the fans right there in the event. 2 Goblin Blast Mages. Dangerous combination. But I can kill both of them. So, that's fine with me. And I can still lay this and punch him in the face for 5. But it's like they were doing all this thing. They're like, for an expansion, do you want a level cap increase? And the crowd's like, no. Okay, we're not giving you one then. Do you want to, all the gear that you've spent like the last, 2 years or whatever, getting, do you want that gear to be absolute crap and you have to grind for new gear? And they were like, no. And I'm thinking, okay, why not? Where's this going? I'm a little confused. But he just kept, basically just kept doing that the whole time. It was, ooh, Implosion. I can't do it. I'm too low on the manas. But they have a new class coming to the game. They don't use the word class, though. They use some other goofy word. I forget what it is. Profession, maybe? I don't know. Something. Wow, I can lay nothing here.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Knife juggler.
Put this apple on your head.
I should have, that was a slight misplay on my part. I probably should have life tapped first to figure out what was I going to play there, so. But anyway, like I said, I was rather impressed by their little speech for Guild Wars 2 and what they're doing with it. So I might have to give it a shot. We'll see. We'll see. I got enough to do as it is. Interesting. Well, we're definitely gonna silence one of these fools. I guess let's take the shot on the implosion on this 4. And I get 4. I'm not gonna life tap. Let's just wait. But I think the last thing I will talk about. Oh, great, that guy. Indeed. Is Gearbox showed up with like a massive presence. I was really impressed by their presence. They had like 4 or 5 different press conferences during the, or panels, I guess is the correct word, during the show. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 1 short. Are you kidding me? Give me something else. Dr. Boom. Huh. Well, that's a thing, isn't it? Just trying to figure out what's the best way of doing this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 1 short of killing him, and Dr. Boom's not going to do it. He can do 9 damage, so crap. I'm going to have to kill off what he has on the field. Let's get rid of this guy. He's got a fireball in his hand, too. He might even have 2 fireballs. So I guess we're going to find out if I'm dead right here or not. But yeah, so Gearbox had several panels, as I was saying. He's got 2 fireballs, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. He's drawing for desperation. Oh, he can kill me anyway. Doesn't matter. So he's just being a jerk. Why don't you just kill me and be done with it? Yeah. Jerk face. So Gearbox, they had Borderlands. You know, they were talking about Borderlands, the pre-sequel. They've got like an expansion coming out for that. Or not really an expansion, a DLC coming out for that. That's actually going to introduce another playable hero or playable class. Then they've got the Tales from the Borderlands, which is their Telltale story series, which I am going to play that, and I am going to do a video on it. I've been meaning to do that, I just haven't had time. Because I really like the Borderlands sort of universe they've created. So I think this sort of story-driven thing that they've got going is a good idea, so I'm definitely going to try that. And then they've got another game coming out called Battleborn, I believe. And I don't know too much about that game yet, but the little bit that they've shown on it, it looks really interesting. But that's all I can really say, because I can't really tell you too much about it. But that, in a nutshell, was pretty much PAX South. Like I said, it seemed like it was a pretty good event. I was amazed at actually how much stuff they were just giving away. I mean, I know when you're actually there, you get lots of swag, as they call it. But even to like the people online, whether it was on Twitch or whatever, just they were giving away so much stuff. It was unbelievable. It's really, really nice of them. But yeah, great event overall. PAX East is not too far away, so we should definitely get some big announcements at PAX East. It seems like PAX East is the one that everybody wants to go to nowadays. It's taken over its authority from PAX Prime. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that will go ahead and do it for this video. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you for watching, and with that being said, everybody keep playing and have fun.